So if you're going to become successful as an entrepreneur, this is what you should remember. And by the way, ask questions, interrupt. We got lots of time, so if you want to ask questions, go ahead. Here are the 5 steps. Number 1, get a job. Number 2, don't hire anybody. Number 3, don't raise money. Number 4, don't start with a plan. And number 5, do what you like. This is what we're going to talk about. Maybe a little different. I'm telling you, to become an entrepreneur, the first thing you got to do is go out and get a job. And let's talk about that. Why should you go out and get a job? Well, number 1 is learning about entrepreneurship is easy. We can teach you courses on, how to write a business plan. We can teach you courses on, how to sort of do marketing. We can teach you courses on how to do operations. We can teach you courses on sort of the business aspects of entrepreneurship. That's easy. Learning about an industry is hard. And that's what you need to do as an entrepreneur. You need to understand an industry or a technology. So how are you going to do that? The easiest way to do it is get a job in an industry and learn about the industry before you go start your own company. It's always nice to learn on somebody else's nickel. And for example, I was at a conference in Boston on teaching people in Boston to be entrepreneurs, and this one guy raised his hand and said, I took all these courses, I wrote a nice business plan, I learned all this wonderful stuff about entrepreneurship. I opened up a retail shop and I'm going bankrupt. Well, why is he going bankrupt? I started talking. He's never worked in retail in his life. He had no clue as to what to buy, how to manage it, how to do whatever. So learning a business plan didn't make any sense to him. Learning how to use Quicken didn't help him. If he's going to go into retail, he should have learned about retailing. Had a student graduated out of Northeastern, and we have lots of students who graduate and go on and do great things. You've probably all heard of one of our students just won $100,000 in the EO Student Entrepreneur Contest. Had another student a month ago win was identified as an Inc. 30 under 30. Actually wrote his business plan in my course for John Reedy for the lobster business. But he has been working in the lobster business for all his life. He knows lobster. We could help him write a business plan. But this kid comes to me, as many students do, after the fact, bless you, and said, I'm thinking about buying a car detailing shop in Newport Beach, California, the OC. And I said, good. Ask the entrepreneur that you're buying it from for his tax returns, his personal tax returns. And he goes, why would I want to do that? I said, because it's a private individual. His financial statements are meaningless. He went on to spreadsheet and made up some numbers. They're not audited, they're not real. The only way you know they're real is you ask to see his private returns. Because then you know he's either lying to you or he's lying to Uncle Sam. So if he's claiming he's getting so much revenue out of this business, he better have been reporting it to the IRS. Otherwise, you don't know how much money he's making. So then he goes, well, I've already bought the business. I said, well, it's a little late to come to me. He said, by the way, how much inventory did you make him buy before you took over the business? And he goes, well, none. Why? I said, because you're not a qualified customer. Nobody's going to sell you inventory. So how are you going to have a detail shop without any inventory to work? So you got employees, you got a store, and you don't have any of the material needed to run your business. And that's a little thing that would have been nice if you had any clue as to what goes on in service businesses and something like that. That you gain from experience. Luckily, his parents were able to lend him another $100,000. I wish I had parents like that. And he was able to keep the business going, and now he's going. Now he's learned. He's learned after the fact. Would have been nice for him to do what? You want to go into the detailing business, go work in a detailing shop for a little bit, learn about these nuances that can trip you up and be successful. So industry experience. What's another reason for industry experience? Business ideas come from personal experience. Where are you going to get the ideas for your startup? Where are they going to come from? They're going to come from what you know. They come from your experience. I mean, when we teach in class, we can do all these idea generation and other ways to try to get you to think about things, but what's the main way you're going to come up with a business idea? Number one way is from your experience. So the more experience you have, the bigger the idea. What do college students like to start? We get hundreds of plans. I probably see, 400, 500 student plans a year. So over the last 10 years, I've seen about 5,000 student plans. What do you think students like to start?
Bars.
Huh? Bars? Discos? Bookstores? Buy back books? Dating services? Online sort of networking things? What do students predominantly like to start? Stuff that they know about, they do, that they think is interesting. Guess how many of those ideas they've come up with are new or novel or somebody else hasn't done before? So do students sometimes come up with ideas for interesting things? Absolutely. Sean Fanning, when he was a freshman here, came up with a nice way to share music before his thing was made illegal and he was out of business. Happens to the best of us. You know, and Facebook was started as a little gig to, I think it was at Harvard, wasn't it? For students, so that happens occasionally, but predominantly students come up with ideas of making stuff they know a little bit better. But what if you want to come up with a big business? I mean, there's nothing matter with those small business ideas, but what if you want to come up with a big business? Where do those ideas come from? You want industry experience before you start your business so you can come up with a bigger idea. Otherwise, you're going to start some small little service business. Nothing matter with that if that's what you want to do, but you're not going to come up with a big idea.